Part 38. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Ching Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 371. Chapter 371 Jiaoningsun fell from the building. Suo Xingxin suddenly raised her head. Should I apologize? Jiaoningsun blinked. Yeah, otherwise what are you doing here? You're not here to congratulate me. Do you still want to kill me? Suo Xingxin choked, glanced at her serious elder brother, and her father who stared at her warily, gritted her teeth and said, Yes, I'm just here to congratulate you. Congratulations on your admission to Huaxia University. Thank you. Jiaoningsun nodded and asked knowingly, I remember you are in the same grade as me. I wonder if you want to study abroad or attend a domestic school. Suo Xingxin almost died of anger and shouted, Jiaoningsun, did you do this on purpose? You clearly knew that I. Jiaoningsun raised his eyebrows. What do you know? Suo Xingxin saw that everyone else was looking at her because of her voice, and her eldest brother had been staring at her, so she could only whisper, It's nothing, I have something to say to you alone, I wonder if that's okay. Jiaoningsun, okay, you come with me. Suo Hongfeng said worriedly, Ningsun. Jiaoningsun smiled and said, It's okay. As she spoke, she glanced in one direction. Suo Hongfeng understood what she meant and had no choice but to let the two of them leave. A waiter immediately went to open the curtain that separated the terrace from the banquet hall. The two of them came to the terrace. Jiaoningsun asked, What else do you want to tell me? At this time, the guests in the lobby near the terrace saw the curtains being opened and looked over curiously. They saw Jiaoningsun and a girl in a wheelchair going to the terrace. Suo Hongfeng was very helpless. Why did their family adopt such a fool? The glass that separates the terrace and the hall cannot be seen from the outside, but from the inside, the outside can be clearly seen. Now that the curtains are open, the scene outside can be clearly seen inside. Xiao Shulan was very worried when she saw Suo Xingxin looking at her daughter unkindly. Upon seeing this, He Yuanhui said with relief, Second aunt, don't worry, my cousin is very powerful, nothing will happen to her. Although Xiao Shulan knew that her nephew was right, she was still worried. Suo Xingxin glanced around and saw that there was no one around, so she suddenly stood up and walked to the edge. You come with me. Jiaoningsun followed her to the edge, but the distance between them was still 3 meters away. You ask me to come over? You don't want to jump down, and then use your death to frame me and destroy me, right? Suo Xingxin was stunned. You are really smart, you actually guessed my initial thoughts. The people inside, for some reason, could clearly hear the conversation between the two people outside. Jiaoningsun took a look inside. She had clairvoyant eyes. Even though the glass was special, she could clearly see the faces of the people inside. Suo Hongfeng inside saw Suo Xingxin's actions, quickly walked to the terrace door, and looked at Suo Xingxin warily. Suo Jingguo also felt that something was wrong with Suo Xingxin today, so he asked the bodyguards to go over. As long as Suo Xingxin made any dangerous moves, he would just tie her up, regardless of whether it would hurt her. Seeing this, Xiao Shulan could no longer bear it and walked over. I just don't know why, but the door to the terrace cannot be opened. Upon seeing this, Suo Jingguo quickly ordered someone to find someone from the hotel to unlock the door. At this moment, Jiaoningsun spoke, Then what are you thinking now? Suo Xingxin, what do I think of you? Of course I hate you. Why do you, a person from the mountains, stand beside my eldest brother? Why do you want to be liked by my father and brother? You are obviously the same age as me, so why do you have better grades than me? Why does my eldest brother always praise you but often scold me? Jiaoningsun raised his eyebrows. Why? Probably because we are two kinds of people, you are evil and I am good. Am I a bad person? Suo Xingxin said excitedly, Why do you say I am a bad person? Jiaoning Sun, do you still need to ask? Last time I was at your house, you wanted to stab me from behind. Otherwise, your father and brother would be disappointed in you. Can you jump off the building just to take advantage of the situation? The people in the banquet hall were in an uproar. Suo Xingxin was paralyzed because she wanted to kill Jiaoning Sun. Mr. Chu said angrily, "This little girl is too cruel. She was only 16 years old before, but she can actually do such a thing." Mr. Shen also looked shocked, "She is so vicious at a young age. Who dares to marry her in the future?" Shen Qingxiu's face was also a little ugly. "I have always known that Suo Xingxin is not a good person and always likes to hang out with gangsters. I didn't expect that her personality is similar to that of gangsters, and she will kill people at every turn." Yan Jiaxuan whispered, "Brother, I didn't expect Jiaoning Sun to be quite hated." Yan Jiaxi, "Excellent people always attract jealousy." Yan Jiaxuan nodded, "That's right." Suo Xingxin yelled, "It's not because you are getting close to my eldest brother and want to seduce him, otherwise I wouldn't do that." Jiaoning Sun sighed, "Seduce? Your eldest brother is a big star, and he has come into contact with so many adult beauties on the set. In the past 2 years, I was just a little girl who was not yet underage. You look down on your eldest brother's vision. He Yuan Yang, cousin, you don't have to be so self-deprecating. Others, in fact, you are quite good looking, but you are not developed yet." Suo Hongfeng frowned, "What kind of mess is in Suo Xingxin's head? He and Jiaoning Sun are nearly 10 years apart, and he doesn't like old cows eating young grass. Suo Xingxin, you are sophistry, you just like my eldest brother." Jiaoning Sun was very helpless. "I have someone I like, so don't make random guesses about my thoughts. It seems that you are still the same as before, having thoughts about your elder brother that you shouldn't." Suo Xingxin's face suddenly changed, "You are talking nonsense." "Jiaoning Sun, I'm not talking nonsense." The people in the banquet hall looked at each other. Suo Xingxin likes Suo Hongfeng. Looking at what Jiaoning Sun means, it seems like this. They are brothers and sisters. Yes, but Suo Xingxin's brain has always been abnormal. It's not surprising that she can do such a thing. "You," Suo Xingxin said sinisterly, "you said, if you fell from the top floor today, would your college entrance banquet still be held? As long as you die, then I will never have to worry about it in the future." Before Jiaoning Sun could speak, Suo Xingxin suddenly rushed towards Jiaoning Sun and pushed her downstairs without hesitation. Jiaoning Sun looked helplessly at the hand she extended, but still cooperated with her and fell downstairs. Suo Xingxin has taken too many medicines in the past 2 years. How could she even come up with such a stupid plan? Where is Junhang Hotel? There are 10 surveillance cameras on this terrace alone, monitoring this terrace without any blind spots. The people watching in the back room were horrified at the same time and hurriedly ran to the terrace. It's over, someone will definitely die. End of this chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 372. Chapter 372 turns out they are not biological. The security personnel who had been watching the surveillance also hurriedly ran to the terrace. It's over, if something happens to the guests, their jobs will be gone too. The door to the terrace suddenly opened, and Suo Hongfeng and Suo Jingguo were the first to rush over. Suo Xian was pleased to see someone coming over immediately, and his expression suddenly changed. She hasn't called for help yet, how could they get here so quickly? Originally, she called Jiaoning Sun over just now just to ridicule her, and she also thought about jumping off the building to frame Jiaoning Sun. But she didn't know why, she suddenly started this plan. I don't know how much they saw. If they had seen them all, Jiaoning Sun would definitely be dead by now, and she would definitely be in jail. With so many people coming today, The Sox group cannot silence everyone, especially the Chu group. Chiao Ningsun was kind to Mr. Chu. If she died, Mr. Chu would definitely not let it go. Everyone came to the terrace and ignored Suo Xingxin for the time being. Instead, they went directly to the edge and anxiously stretched their heads to look below. As soon as they raised their heads, they saw Chiao Ningsun on the ladder. Chiao Ningsun smiled when she saw someone stretching out her head and silently climbing the ladder. It must be that the maintenance master forgot to take the ladder back, which happened to save my life. Everyone is a little confused. How could a maintenance man make such a low-level mistake in such a high-end place as the Junyu Hotel? Chiao Ningsun waved his hand to the people upstairs. I'm fine. Of course she hung the ladder herself. It is still possible to take objects from the air and use them to hang ladders from the air. Fortunately, this is the top floor. She just used the destruction formula to destroy the surveillance on the outer wall, so the sudden appearance of the ladder would not be too surprising. Everyone suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. He Yuan Yang and He Yuan Hui helped Chiao Ningsun climb up. After He Yuan Yang confirmed that his cousin was safe, he quickly came to Suo Xingxin and asked, "What were you doing just now? You tried to kill my cousin last time, but my cousin didn't pursue the matter and gave the Suo family face. Today you actually did it in front of me, in front of all the guests. You are too vicious to want to kill my cousin again." Suo Jingguo didn't wait for Suo Xingxin to speak, and suddenly slapped her in the face, saying sadly, "Suo Xingxin, you really disappoint me." Suo Hongfeng also said, "The Suo family has raised you for 18 years, is this how you ruined the Suo family's reputation?" Chiao Shulan and her parents also looked at Suo Xingxin gloomily. This person is really hateful. Ningsun has never done anything to her, yet she actually wants Ningsun's life. Suo Xingxin saw everyone staring at her and explained anxiously, "Father, brother, listen to me, she jumped by herself. She knew she would not die if she jumped, so she wanted to frame me like this. You must believe it me." The onlookers were suddenly in an uproar. Is this person a fool? You can see clearly in the situation here. Oh, you see, you can't see what's inside from the outside, but you can see the outside from the inside. A lot of people use this kind of glass. Why didn't Miss Suo think of it? I heard that she lived in the hospital for 2 years, so she must have lived there stupidly. Haha, I guess so. You won't die if you jump down. If there happens to be no ladder, everyone will definitely be dead. Yes, even if there is a ladder, if the person's reaction is slower or his arm strength is weaker, something will definitely happen. Today she is finished. Intentional murder is not the death penalty, but she will also go to jail. Suo Xingxin's face turned pale when she heard this, and she looked at the glass not far away anxiously. There was a curtain covering the glass just now. After she came out, the curtain was opened. But the inside could not be seen from the outside, so she did not know that the curtains were opened. Chiao Shulan roared, "We saw clearly just now that you suddenly pushed my daughter down. If my daughter hadn't reacted quickly, my daughter would be dead now." Chiao Kongshen was also very angry. "At this time, you are still making excuses and calling the police. I will call the police and make you pay the price." Yakaxiang also said, "I'll call the police." Someone in the crowd shouted, "I just called the police." Suo Xingxin's face suddenly changed, and she suddenly knelt down towards Suo Jingguo, crying, "Father, please don't let the police arrest me. I was wrong. I will never dare to do it again. Please forgive me just once." Suo Hongfeng didn't mean to plead for mercy at all, and added more and more jealously, "You say this every time, but when did you change it? You almost hurt Ningsun last time, so we shouldn't be merciful to you, and we shouldn't let you come here today. Otherwise this wouldn't have happened. You were obviously very cute and kind when you were a child, otherwise my father and I wouldn't have gone to the orphanage and liked you at first sight and adopted you into the Suo family. There must be nothing wrong with my father's education. otherwise I would have grown crooked. I really don't understand why you are so cruel. The crowd was suddenly in an uproar. Xiao Ningxun raised her eyebrows. It seemed that the Suo family was really disappointed with Suo Xingxin this time and wanted to give up on her. It's not in vain that she planned today's big drama. The eldest lady of the Suo family is not the biological daughter of the Suo family. Was she adopted? Suo Hongfeng said it himself, it should be true. I really didn't expect that the eldest daughter of the Suo family would be brought back from the orphanage by them. It's no wonder she likes her eldest brother, it turns out he's not her biological son. No wonder she is so good at getting into trouble, and she is not of the same mind as the Suo family. This is the power of blood. Yes, her parents can do such a cruel thing as abandoning their biological child, which shows that they are cruel. Suo Xingxin is indeed as cruel as her biological parents, and she actually wants to kill someone in public. Yes, it's no wonder that she is incompatible with the upper-class society and loves to hang out with gangsters. She is not from the upper class in the first place and cannot integrate in by nature. I just don't know what the grudge between Suo Xingxin and Xiao Ningxun is, so that she can be killed on a day like today. Xiao Ningxun said quietly, it's because I found out that she is not the biological daughter of the Suo family. She also guessed that I knew where the real biological child of the Suo family was. She was worried that if I found that person for the Suo family, her status would be no guarantee. She also speculated that I wanted to steal her brother from her, so she wanted to kill me. Suo Jingguo sighed and said, it is said that family scandals should not be publicized. Now that things have happened, I have nothing to hide from everyone. Last time at the Suo family dinner, Suo Xingxin wanted to kill Ningxun, but was stopped in time. I wanted to send her away, but she didn't want to, so she jumped off the building. She has been in the hospital for more than a year, and she was only able to stand up recently. Hearing this, Xiao Shulan rushed to Suo Xingxin and slapped her several times. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 373. You bitch, you actually hurt my daughter twice, I want you to pay the price. Suo Jingguo and Suo Hongfeng saw this and did not stop them. Her own daughter almost died. Mothers must not be calm. They understand very well. Suo Xingxin's face instantly became red and swollen. She was also frightened by Xiao Shulan's madness and stood there blankly. Xiao Kongsheng stepped forward and grabbed Xiao Shulan. Okay, let the law punish her. Today is your daughter's great day. Don't get angry because of her. Hearing this, Xiao Shulan felt that her father was right, so she had to take a few steps back. Shi Xiao also stared at Suo Xingxin with gritted teeth. If Shenboyu hadn't stopped her, she would have rushed forward. If she dared to treat her benefactor like this, she wished she could push Suo Xingxin down too. Suo Jingguo said seriously, Mother Ningxun, don't worry, Suo Xingxin is so vicious, it really breaks my heart. I will not show mercy to her this time. Suo Hongfeng also said, I'm really sorry for today. We will definitely give you an explanation. Xiao Shulan turned a deaf ear and still looked at Suo Xingxin with red eyes. If she wasn't worried that she would be too excited and hurt Xiao Kongsheng, she would definitely give her a few more slaps. As soon as he finished speaking, the police came over. The old policeman asked, who called the police just now? Shenboyu suddenly walked over, pointed at Suo Xingxin and said, Uncle policeman, it was me who reported it. Here's what happened, Suo Xingxin is so vicious. He dared to kill people in front of us. All of us saw what we just saw, we are all witnesses. There are also a lot of surveillance here, and the police can also call for surveillance. The old policeman coughed slightly when he saw Xiaoningsun smiling at him. Someone actually dares to kill this metaphysics master? Isn't this seeking death? Most people in the police system know her identity, but it has not been announced. The old policeman came to Xiaoningsun and asked in a low voice, "Why do you always encounter criminals whether in the live broadcast room or offline? Is there something wrong with your physical condition?" Xiaoningsun raised her eyebrows and said, "Don't worry, I'm just an ordinary person. What you said is just a coincidence." Hearing this, the old policeman didn't say much and had Suo Xingxin tortured. Suo Xingxin cried, "Father, brother, you can't ignore me. I am your daughter. If I go to jail, Suo Xingxin's reputation will also be affected. Soxlet's reputation will not be affected." Suddenly, a young male voice came into everyone's ears. Everyone turned around and saw Chu Yanyi striding towards them. Everybody hurriedly made way for him. Xiaoningsun saw Chu Yanyi coming, smiled, and waved to him. Chu Yanyi nodded to her, walked to her side and stopped. Suo Hongfeng asked, "Boy from the Chu family, what do you mean by what you just said?" Chu Yanyi glanced at Suo Xingxin and said, "This person is indeed born bad, just like her biological parents." "Biological parents?" Suo Hongfeng asked, "Do you know who her biological parents are?" Chu Yanyi nodded, and after a while, Lu Jing'ai came over with two people. Xiaoningsun looked over with everyone. A man had a bald head, was wearing a cheap black t-shirt, and his face was full of wrinkles. He looked like he was in his 50s or 60s, and he had a sinister look. A woman also had short hair, dull eyes, and a long scar on the left and right sides of her face. She looked like she was over 40 years old, and she looked mean. Suo Jingguo asked, "Are they Suo Xingxin's biological parents?" Suo Xingxin was startled. Her parents were actually these two old and ugly people? Chu Yanyi, that's right. The man's name is Xie Hao, he is 50 years old this year, and the woman's name is Chen Yan, she is 40 years old. They gave birth to Suo Xingxin more than 10 years ago. But at that time, Xie Hao broke the law and Chen Yan hid around together. When they were hiding, the baby Suo Xingxin often cried, which exposed their location, so when they passed by the orphanage, they left the baby Suo Xingxin there. The crowd exploded again. Breaking the law. No wonder Suo Xingxin can do such vicious things. It seems that the top beam is out of alignment and the bottom beam is crooked. Yes, it is true that a dragon begets a dragon, a phoenix begets a phoenix, and a mouse's son can dig holes. The power of blood is really powerful. The elite education of the Suo family cannot change Suo Xingxin's inner nature. It seems that we should not raise other people's children casually. Yes, it's easy to raise a white-eyed wolf. Although not all, criminals may indeed give birth to criminals. Looking at it this way, Suo Xingxin and the man named Xie Hao really seem to be carved from the same mold. You don't tell me, but I still don't think they are alike. Xie Hao suddenly looked at Suo Xingxin and said excitedly, "Are you our daughter? Or the daughter adopted by a big entrepreneur?" Suo Xingxin roared, "I'm not." Chen Yan said excitedly, "I have seen your photo, and you are my daughter. The mole on your right ear is the best proof. When my daughter was born, she also had a mole." Xie Hao said, "Yes, you are our daughter. That's great. You are so rich. From now on, the two of us will depend on you. We now have a criminal record and many jobs don't want us. We will be released from prison for a month. My family doesn't accept us, and I have no job, so I'm starving to death. If you're here, just help us. We won't ask you for too much, just give us 100,000 yuan first, and then give it to us when it's gone." Chen Yan also said, "Look at my skin, it's really bad recently. I want to go to a beauty salon and take various supplements to replenish my body. Why don't you give me 100,000, and I'll ask you again if you don't have it want." Suo Xingxin mocked, Can't you understand my current situation? I've been in prison for so long that I can't even recognize the police uniform. 100,000 per person, you can only dream. I'm covered in sweat and I can't even get out 10 yuan. Xiahao and Chen Yan were stunned for a moment, and then they noticed that their daughter had been arrested by the police. Xiahao frowned. Why did you arrest her? What did she commit? The old policeman said, attempted intentional homicide. Killing, Xiahao said in shock. How can you kill? You have only come of age this year? What will we do if you kill? Who will we rely on in the future? Suo Xingxin curled her lips. You can rely on whomever you want to rely on. Anyway, don't rely on me. I have nothing to do with you. Xiahao was furious. Why are you so unlucky and killing people at such a young age? If I had known you were so embarrassing to me, I wouldn't have had to go through so much trouble to put you at the door of the orphanage. I should have kept you alive fall to death. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 374. Suo Xingxin mocked, I'm not living up to expectations. If I were really your daughter, wouldn't I be just like you? You are a person who has just been released from prison and you have never raised me in your life. What qualifications do you have here? Teach me a lesson. Xiahao shouted, I am your biological father, so I am qualified to teach you a lesson. Suo Xingxin sneered, biological father? Is what you did worthy of it? You, Xiao's eyes turned red with anger. This evil girl grew up in a wealthy family and has the temper of a young lady. The old policeman said, okay, enough talking, let's go. The police took Suo Xingxin away. Xiahao and Chen Yan had no choice but to watch the person they used as a cash machine leave. They have just been released from prison. What they are most afraid of is the police, and they dare not follow them. A young policeman said, everyone, we want to investigate this place, so please move first. When this happened, the person in charge of Junhua Hotel could only move them from area A here to area B next door. They were both on the top floor, and the layout was the same as here. The person in charge was extremely happy at this time. No wonder the superiors asked him to arrange two identical places. He probably expected that someone would cause trouble today. Just as Xiahao and Chen Yang were about to follow them, Chu Yanyi suddenly stopped them. What are you doing here? Xiahao licked his face and said, Sir, you said that if we come with you, we can find our daughter. We thought we only followed you because we had money. Now that my daughter has been arrested, my wife and I have no money. Should you compensate us? Chen Yan said, yes, we are so cooperative with you, even if it is hard work, you should give us some. After saying that, she glanced here and said, you must be having a banquet today, right? Why don't you let us have a big meal? We haven't had good food in a long time, and the food here must be very delicious. Then you can give us we have 200,000, and we will leave as soon as we get the money, and we promise not to bother you again. Chu Yanyi, want to eat here? Dreaming. As soon as they finished speaking, 4 security guards took them out. Xiahao and Chen Yan were quickly kicked out of the hotel. Although the two were reluctant, seeing the menacing security guards, they had no choice but to leave for the time being. After walking 500 meters, Chen Yan said with a grimace, what should we do? Will we have nothing to rely on in the future? Xiahao was also holding back his anger. Those rich people would use their power to bully others. You ask me, how do I know? I thought that the child was now a child of a rich family, and she would definitely treat us as her biological parents in the future. Well, I didn't expect that she would take the same path as us. Chen Yan was reprimanded and angry, it's not because of you. People say that my daughter is like her father. She is just like you, so she can do that kind of thing. Xiahao frowned, you actually blame me for everything? Wasn't she born to you? She is just like your mother. What did you say? Chen Yan was furious and stepped forward to grab Xie Hao's face. Xie Hao, a grown man, was bullied by a woman in public. Feeling that he could not keep his face off, he raised his hand and started beating Chen Yan. After knocking the person to the ground, he still didn't feel relieved and kicked Chen Yan hard. While kicking back, he said, "I asked you to hit me, stinky woman, is my face so worthless? I'll kick you to death, kick you to death." When passers-by saw what was going on here, they stepped forward to block it or call the police. Fortunately, there was a police station not far away, and soon the police came and took them away. All the guests quickly arrived at the banquet hall in Area B. The manager also brought the security director to Chiao Ningxun and said solemnly, "Miss Chiao, I'm sorry, it was all the negligence of our security personnel that put you in danger." The security director also bowed and apologized. Chiao Ningxun smiled and said, "It's okay. What happened just now happened suddenly and you couldn't take precautions. Don't worry, I won't pursue it. Don't take it too seriously. Don't punish those security personnel, otherwise I will complain." He breathed a sigh of relief, said a few words of thanks, and left quickly without taking up her time. Yan Jiaxi asked, "Chu Yanyi, just now you said that Suo's reputation will not be affected. What do you mean by this?" Others' eyes were also focused on Chu Yanyi. Chu Yanyi smiled and said, "That's because a child who is related to Chairman Suo is silently bringing glory to Suo." Everyone was stunned. Suo Jingguo couldn't help but ask why he knew about this, and said anxiously, "Do you know where that child is?" "Chu Yanyi, I know, she is also someone you know, and she is already here now." The crowd started talking again. "Have you never heard that the Suo family has a child outside? I also wanted to ask just now, except for the first wife, the Sox family has never married another wife. Is he the illegitimate son of the head of the family? Maybe so, otherwise I can't think of any other possibility. Someone is already here, who could it be?" "Have no idea." Suo Jingguo asked, "Who is that person?" Chu Yanyi turned to look at Chiao Ningxun, "That's her." Chiao Ningxun looked around and then behind her. Everyone's eyes were focused on her again. "Huh," Chiao Ningxun pointed at herself, "is it me you are talking about?" Chu Yanyi nodded, "Yes, it's you. You are the daughter of the Suo family, the person Suo Xingxin has always wanted to get rid of." Everyone was shocked. There were so many huge melons today. Chiao Ningxun is actually the daughter of the Suo family. Has Suo Xingxin occupied her identity before? Could it be that one of the reasons why Suo Xingxin wanted to kill her was because he suspected that she was her adoptive father's biological daughter? It's bloody, really bloody. Chiao Ningxun frowned. There were many things about people who were related to her and herself that could not be calculated. She couldn't figure out the reason why the child was there before. She thought it was because she was not good at school and lacked spiritual power. Is it because the child is her own? Last night, Chu Yanyi asked her whether she would hate him if he did something that could drastically change her life. She said that as long as it does not hurt her family and friends, she will not hate. Chu Yanyi said at the time that it was something good for her, and asked her if she wanted to be known to others. She felt at that time that Chu Yanyi would definitely not harm her, so she agreed. So this is what Chu Yanyi was talking about? No, if she is really related to Suo Jingguo, then the reason why Suo Xingxin killed her and her mother in the previous life was also because he knew her identity and didn't want her to return to Suo clan and rob Suo clan's property. No way. She and her mother died in the previous life for this reason. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 375. She knew nothing about her biological father in her previous life and had never thought about going back to grab money. And Sox didn't send anyone to contact her at that time, so didn't she and her mother die unjustly? The people in Daguo village were shocked and were all talking in low voices. Huangdan Niu, my dear, isn't Jiao Ningxun the child of Yuan Deshan? Why did he suddenly become the daughter of the Sox group? Chu Yu whispered, Ningxun doesn't look like Yuan Deshan. I heard that it was Jiao Shulan who borrowed sperm to give birth to a child. I didn't expect that the owner of the sperm would be so prominent. Zheng Heng, I feel that Yuan Deshan is not worthy of a child as capable as Ningxun. Now that I think about it, only the descendants of Sox are so capable. The village chief was extremely excited. Jiao Ningxun's father was actually the leader of the Sox group. She will have a good life in the future, and she won't have to work so hard in her own business. As the village chief, he really hopes that the people in the village can live well. Someone asked Jiao Kongsheng, do you know the life experience of your granddaughter? Jiao Kongsheng shook his head, I don't know. How could you possibly know? The hospital must keep things like that confidential from both parties, just to avoid unnecessary trouble in the future. They wanted to ask more questions, but Jiao Kongsheng looked like he didn't want to say more, so he was too embarrassed to ask. Principal Yao said with a smile, it turns out that Jiao Ningxun is from the Suo family. No wonder she is so smart. Her brother Suo Hongfeng has also ranked first in every exam since he was a child. Now it seems that it is hereditary. Zhou Anning, she is indeed a young lady from a wealthy family. You can tell by looking at Jiao Ningxun's temperament that she is not an ordinary person. Xiaochins, it seems that Jiao Ningxun has a double happiness today. Mr. Chu touched his beard and saw that he was indeed Chu Yanyi. The truth that no one else could find was found by him. However, if Jiao Ningxun is the eldest lady of the Suo family, then her status will be more suitable for Chu Yanyi. Even if other members of the Chu family knew about it, they had nothing to say. Mr. Shen looked at his grandson excitedly. He knew what his grandson was thinking. If the Shen family and the Suo family were to marry, it would be considered a high-profile move by the Shen family, but I wonder if the Suo family would agree? Yan Jiaxi, I have long thought that Jiao Ningxun is not an ordinary person, but I didn't expect that he is actually from the Suo family. Yan Jiaxuan, yes, she is indeed different. She is from the Suo family. No wonder she can accumulate so much wealth in a short period of time. Director Zhou, no wonder her boss is so courageous. He is from the Suo family. Wait a minute, the boss is from the Suo family, doesn't that mean that their Xingxia garment factory can also be said to be a company of the Suo family? Everyone in the factory thought of this at the same time and felt happy at the same time. Although Jiao Ningxun is very capable, there is currently no risk of the garment factory going bankrupt. But if there is a backer like Sox Group behind them, will their garment factory no longer have to worry about the capital chain being broken and going bankrupt again? Shi Xiao was also shocked by Jiao Ningxun's life experience. She is not her parents' biological father. It turns out that Jiao Ningxun's biological father is someone else. Other people in Jiao Ningxun's vegetable selling group were also shocked. The person who had to make a living by selling vegetables actually had such a powerful identity. In their group, even the Chu group is not as good as the Sox group. At present, the only one that can compare with the Sox group is Zhengxuan. Suo Jingguo looked at Jiao Ningxun blankly, she is my daughter. Suo Hongfeng also had a look of disbelief on his face. Chu Yanyi nodded, you are indeed her biological father. Suo Jingguo, how is this possible? How could he not recognize his daughter, who was related to him by blood, despite being in front of him for so long? When he saw Jiao Ningxun's photo for the first time, he thought it was somewhat similar. But considering that she had parents, he never thought that she could be his biological daughter. If he had been more cautious from the first meeting and took her for a paternity test, wouldn't she have suffered so much? Although she has some money now, I heard that she earned it in her spare time. At first, in order to save money, I even ran to the mountains every day. When children of the same age grow up carefree and happy under the wings of their parents, she has already begun to worry about the livelihood of the family. Her life was not very good since she was a child. Her adoptive father and stepmother even abused her. If he had found her earlier, she wouldn't have suffered so much. Thinking that when Chiao Ningsun was suffering, Suo Xingsun was not satisfied with spending his money, and was still making trouble all day long, deliberately making him angry, which made him angry. Why were you so confused in the first place that you brought Suo Xingsun back and almost killed a child who was related to him by blood? Suo Hongfeng was very excited. He has wanted a sister since he was a child, but Suo Xingsun is really different from the sister he imagined. It would be great if Chiao Ningsun was really his biological sister. Chiao Ningsun really fits all her imagination of her sister. Chiao Shulan suddenly stepped forward and said, "It's almost dinner time. Let the guests eat first. Let's go to the private room to talk." Chiao Kongsheng also said, "Yes, this is our family matter, we can just talk about it behind closed doors." Suo Jingguo nodded, "What you said makes sense." He Yuanyang suddenly walked onto the stage with the microphone. "Everyone, the banquet is about to start, everyone can take your seats. What happened today is a joke for everyone. Everyone eats and drinks to their heart's content. After eating, there are many entertainment projects in the hotel. If you are willing, just have fun, all expenses will be borne by our Chiao family. The guests are also very reasonable. You go about your business. You are indeed tired today. Don't worry about us, we are all friends, and you haven't neglected us either. We will take care of ourselves." He Yuan Yang, "Thank you all." Soon, the waiter began to serve the dishes. Delicacies from the mountains and seas were served one after another. Rich people are used to eating these foods, so they are not too surprised. They keep thinking about the Suo family. However, when the people of Daguo village and the ordinary migrant workers saw it, they who were still thinking about what had just happened immediately came back to their senses and ate the delicious food with big mouthfuls. "Today is not in vain, this crab is actually bigger than my face. The lobsters are also very big, the child will probably be full after eating just one. Abalone and other fish are also delicious. It's indeed a fish from a big hotel, it doesn't have any spines at all. What is this black thing? Sea cucumber is a great supplement." After a while, people from Lao Chiao's family, people from Suo's family, and some people who cared about Suo Jingguo all came to a private room with Suo Jingguo's consent. Chiao Kongsheng asked sternly, "Boy from the Chu family, how do you know that Chairman Suo is the biological father of my granddaughter?" End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 376. Chu Yanyi, this process is too complicated, so I won't say more. I can only say that I am 100% sure that Chiao Ningsun and Chairman Suo are related by blood. If you don't believe it, you can do a paternity test. If it proves that I'm lying, I'll do whatever you want. Lu Jing'ai looked proud. Chu Yanyi's mana has now recovered a lot, and it can be calculated. He accidentally wanted to calculate Chiao Ningsun before, but he didn't expect that Chiao Ningsun was the child of the Suo family. The process he knew was indeed impossible to explain. Mr. Chu patted Suo Jingguo's hand, laughed and said, "My Chu Yanyi will definitely not talk nonsense, and Chiao Ningsun must be your daughter." "Old Suo, I didn't expect that your daughter outside would actually so powerful. Especially her medical skills. If it weren't for her, I would be covered in grass now." Suo Jingguo was a little embarrassed. In fact, apart from being biologically called his daughter, this daughter actually had nothing to do with him. Yuan Deshan, who was in prison, is still Chiao Ningxun's nominal father. Chiao Shulan was also a little embarrassed. She didn't expect that someone who was related to her daughter could be such a powerful person. How could someone from the Suo family suddenly go to the hospital to donate sperm? Mr. Shen was a little confused. Dong Suo, what's going on? I've never heard that you have a daughter outside. If I had known earlier, I would have helped you find her. Suo Jingguo glanced at the blushing Chiao Shulan, coughed slightly and said, actually, when I lost a bet with someone when I was young, I donated that. Chiao Ningxun is still here, and he is really embarrassed to say that word. Chiao Shulan suddenly said, let me tell you, after my ex-husband Yuan Deshan and I got married, we never had children. We both went for a checkup, and then we discovered that Yuan Deshan was infertile. At that time, many people laughed at him for being unable to have children. He was really angry, so he suggested that I borrow sperm to have children. Mr. Shen suddenly realized, so that's it? Suo Jingguo looked at Chiao Ningxun and asked anxiously, are you willing to do a paternity test with me? Chiao Ningxun nodded, okay, but let's wait until tomorrow. Suo Jingguo, it's okay. You can eat as usual later. Just provide the test sample. I'll have someone go to the hospital under Sox's name for testing. The results will be available soon. Chiao Ningxun, this is indeed okay. She cannot keep up with the thinking of rich people. Suo Jingguo suddenly thought of something and explained, don't worry, if it turns out that you are really my daughter, if you don't want to come back to me, I won't disturb your life, but if you have any needs, you can come to me and Sox Group will do its best to help you. Suo Hongfeng said, we also knew at the beginning that you must have your own life, and maybe you don't want to be disturbed by us. One of the reasons we wanted to find you at the beginning was not to let you leave your relatives, but to know how you were doing. If you are not doing well, we will help you. If you are doing well, we will not bother you. The second purpose is to keep the people who are related to Suo family in our hands, so that your descendants will not get to know our descendants of the Suo family and develop feelings that they shouldn't have in the future. Chiao Ningxun, I'll just listen to you. Suo Jingguo and Suo Hongfeng were relieved at the same time. After the group had lunch, people from the hospital also came. After taking the test sample, go for identification. The guests had lunch, some were willing to stay for entertainment, while others had important matters and could not wait for dinner in the evening, so they greeted the host and left first. A private room on the first floor. The waiter has already served food to the three Chiao brothers and their families. The three families looked at the delicacies on the table, and their mouths watered with greed. Boston lobster, king crab, large abalone, sea cucumber, and other delicious dishes were served one after another. Looking at the dishes they had never seen before, they ate hungrily before the dishes were finished. Half an hour later, they had almost eaten. As expected of the food at Junyu Hotel, it's just delicious. It seems that the legend is really not a lie. Expensive hotels are indeed expensive for a reason. Today's dishes are really the most delicious dishes I have ever tasted. It's just that the homemade drinks here are too expensive. I asked quietly just now. A bottle costs 200, and it tastes just like ordinary juice. It's okay, it doesn't cost us anything anyway. Humph, no matter how unwilling old Chiao's family is, why don't we get to eat at their family's banquet? Mom, I want to come here for my birthdays in the future. Okay, you go and please your grandparents. They have a lot of money now, and what they wear now is more expensive than what you usually wear. If I don't go, my grandparents won't like me. Who told you to disrespect them before, and you still called them an old man? Isn't that what you said at home? I just learned it from you. Lu Yuero asked in confusion, why haven't you seen other guests from Daguo village? Lu Hehua was also very surprised and said, yes, I just went out and walked around. I didn't know the guests in other private rooms, and there were actually bodyguards guarding the entrances of some private rooms. I want to go and take a look. When I saw who it was, the bodyguard glared at me and I ran away in fear. Ye Yunting, who was still eating, was stunned. Why do I feel like something is wrong? Xiao Jianmo frowned. I also feel that from the beginning to the end, I didn't see anyone from the old Xiao family. Xiao Jianzhou, yes, if the Lao Xiao family entertains guests and arranges all the guests in a private room, why can't they not show up all the time? Xiao Jianyu also said, if anyone we know sees us, they will definitely report it to Lao Xiao's family as soon as possible. With Xiao Ningxun's attitude towards us, they will definitely come and drive us away. We finished eating smoothly like this. I also feel something is wrong. Lu Yuero pressed Ling and called the waiter. Soon, the waiter from before appeared and said respectfully, everyone, do you need anything else? Is there not enough food? Lu Yuero, it's not that the food is not enough, why has no host come to greet us after we've been here for so long? Lu Hehua, yes, there is no reason why people who entertain guests should not come to entertain guests. Where is the master now? Take us there quickly. We have to ask them if they treat us as guests. The waiter was stunned. Master? Do you want to see the owner of our hotel? End of chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 377. Chapter 377. The three brothers paid their own way. No, Ye Yunting said, how can we meet the owner of the hotel? We are here to attend the college entrance banquet today, and we called the people from Lao Jiao's family to see us. If the people of Lao Jiao's family didn't know they were coming and they didn't know they had eaten so much good food, how could they be angry? They came here today because they wanted to make Lao Jiao's family angry. So many good things are eaten by people they hate, and they will definitely be angry to death. The waiter was confused. Enter the college banquet? Didn't you order a meal and come here to eat? Xiao Jianzhou shouted, of course not, we are here to attend the college entrance banquet. The waiter looked innocent, but I just asked you who you are. You said your surname is Xiao. Aren't you Xiao Jianmo, Xiao Jianzhou, and Xiao Jianyuo? Xiao Jianmo, yes, it's us. The waiter straightened up again, that's right. 3 days ago, a Mr. Xiao Jianmo ordered a meal online. He said that there were 3 families and the specific number of people. He asked us to arrange a private room. The dishes were also priced at 20,000 yuan. Come up to the standard of yuan table. What? Everyone looked at Xiao Jianmo at the same time. 20,000 yuan per table. If they ordered this meal themselves and they sat at 2 tables, wouldn't it mean that they spent 40,000 yuan a day today? 40,000 yuan. Their family can't earn it in a year, but they spend it in 1 day? Xiao Jianmo said anxiously, you are talking nonsense, how can I order food online? Today is the college entrance banquet of my niece and nephew, and we are here to attend the college entrance banquet. The waiter said, then I don't know. I will guide you here according to what you booked in advance. Lu Hehua said, hurry up and take us to the college entrance banquet at Lao Qiao's house. Today's meal should have been invited by them. The waiter said calmly, sorry, it is impossible for our hotel staff to bring people over to disturb other guests' banquets. Moreover, there is no college entrance banquet in the area I am responsible for today, and it is impossible to take you there. Ye Yunting suddenly said, I know, it was Xiao Ningxun who deliberately messed with us today and wanted us to spend our own money to eat this meal, right? Let me tell you, we don't recognize this meal. Put it on Xiao Ningxun's account and let's go. Seeing that they were about to leave, the waiter quickly called the intercom to ask for outside help. In just over 10 seconds, more than 10 security guards arrived and surrounded the door of the private room. Xiao Jianmo frowned and said, what are you doing? We have eaten and you don't want us to leave. A man with a manager badge on his chest came over and said, "What happened?" The waiter quickly explained the situation. "Manager, I arranged for them to be seated according to the regulations, but they said they were here to attend the college entrance banquet and did not want to pay." The manager nodded and looked at the Chiao family. "Our employees said that they received your order and placed it online. You also said that you did not place the order. Why don't you check your phone and confirm again?" Chiao Jianmo said impatiently, "How can I not know whether I have placed an order? If you ask me to read it again, will I read it again? I won't. We are here to attend the college entrance banquet, and your waiter made a mistake. Can't we just blame Chiao Ningsun for today's meal?" The manager was very helpless when he heard this and asked, "You said you are here to attend the college entrance banquet. There is indeed a college entrance banquet today, but everyone invited has an invitation. We will only put it in after we check it. How about that? Take out the invitation and show it to us." The Chiao family was immediately embarrassed. He cursed Chiao Ningsun secretly in his heart. It's just a banquet for college entrance, so what kind of invitations are there? I just have some extra land at home and bought a few luxury cars. Do I really think I am a member of the upper class? Does she have a fortune of hundreds of millions? It's so troublesome to do this, and it's hard for relatives like them to find trouble. The fact that these relatives are willing to come over is already a sign of honor for her. The manager looked at their embarrassed expressions and asked, "Don't you have an invitation? If not, it won't prove that you are guests of the college entrance banquet, so you will have to pay your own way before leaving." Lu Hehua asked, "You said we ordered food online. On what platform did we order?" Manager, inside the dolphin video. Lu Hehua took Chiao Jianmo's mobile phone and said while scrolling through it, "If I don't find the order record, I will expose this black shop of yours." But after a while, Lu Hehua's hand stopped, and when she saw the order, she looked at her husband in horror. How could you really order it? And it's really 20,000 yuan per table? Are you stupid? Are we the kind of people who can afford 20,000 meals a table? It's impossible." Chiao Jianmo took the phone and looked at it, and was stunned on the spot. Chiao Jianzhou asked, "Brother, is it really you who ordered it?" Chiao Jianyuo, "Then it's no wonder that someone else is in the hotel. Brother, I didn't expect you to be so kind and treat us to such a good banquet. Thank you very much today." Chiao Jianzhou reacted instantly and said with a smile, "Yes, as expected of a big brother, he is generous in his actions. Thank you very much." Ya Yunting coughed lightly. "We still have things to do at home, so we left." Lu Yueja said, "I have something to do at home, so we are leaving." After the two families finished talking, they were about to leave. "No," Lu Hehua quickly stopped at the door, "you want to leave like this? No way. I don't know who used my husband's mobile phone to place this order." Chiao Jianzhou frowned and said, "Sister-in-law, do you mean that we took my eldest brother's mobile phone and secretly booked this place?" Lu Hehua snorted coldly, "I didn't say that, you said it yourself." Chiao Jianzhou said, "Brother and sister-in-law, you are not being kind." Chiao Jianmo looked at the time of placing the order, thought about it, and suddenly his body trembled. The manager had been paying attention to Chiao Jianmo's expression, and asked, "This guest, do you remember when you placed the order?" Lu Hehua turned her head and whispered, "Is this really your fault?" Chiao Jianmo also whispered back, "I remembered that I was drinking with some strangers a few days ago. Those people laughed at me for never having been to the Junhua Hotel. I said I would go in a few days, but they didn't believe it. For the sake of face, I immediately took out my phone, placed the order myself, and wrote down the names of our three brothers. I thought that I could just delete it later and the deposit would be refunded, but I was drunk at the time. When I woke up, I forgot everything, so." Chiao Jianzhou, who was eavesdropping, suddenly said loudly, "Brother, Did you really order it yourself? Then it has nothing to do with us. End of this chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Ching Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 378. Xiao Jianyu also said, "We really have something to do, so we'll leave first. Just give us the money." After the two of them finished speaking, they took their family members and fled. The hotel security did not stop them. Xiao Jianmo wanted to chase them, but was stopped by the manager. "Okay, you guys have figured it out yourself. The total is 40,000 yuan. You can pay the bill immediately, otherwise we will have to call the police." Xiao Jianmo smiled awkwardly. "Well, there is a college entrance banquet here today. The ones hosting the college entrance banquet are my parents, my sister, and my nephews. You can just charge them with the account." The manager shook his head. "No, we have already told you that you don't have an invitation, so we don't believe it." "Lu Hehua, those are my parents-in-law, how come they gave us an invitation?" "Manager, please check out immediately." Xiao Jianmo said anxiously, "Just put the blame on their heads." "Manager, no, you can't prove that you know each other." "Lu Hehua, then just go find them and come down." "Manager, the hotel has regulations. You are not allowed to disturb other guests because of their requests." "You," Xiao Jianmo was furious, "why don't you know how to adapt? Go and ask what can be done? Can you kill someone?" The manager glanced at the time on his watch and said, "I've been delayed here for 10 minutes. I think you don't want to pay me anymore, so I'll have no choice but to call the police." Speaking, he was about to make a phone call. Lu Hehua quickly looked at Xiao Jianmo. "We can't let him call the police. If the news goes back to Daguo village and we are called to the police for freeloading, the children will definitely not be able to hold their heads up and be a good person in the future." "Okay," Xiao Jianmo said anxiously, "I'll give it. You take me to the cashier and I'll pay." The manager immediately hung up the phone and walked to the cashier. 5 minutes later, Xiao Jianmo's family left the Junhua Hotel. When he walked 300 meters away, Lu Hehua glanced at the Junhua Hotel behind him, with a look of reluctance on his face. "Are we just going to leave like this? 40,000 yuan wasted like this?" Xiao Jianmo said, "I also wanted to go find my parents, but the security guards kept staring at us, as if they were following us wherever we went. It was definitely impossible to find them. Of course we can't recognize this 40,000 yuan. It's not for our family to eat. Why should we share it equally among the 3 families?" Lu Hehua's heart bleeds when she thinks that 40,000 yuan is gone. "Yes, we must make them pay back the money, otherwise I will kill them." At this time, the Lu family also encountered the same troubles as the 3 Qiao brothers. Father Lu said anxiously, "We are really guests of Lao Qiao's family. You will know if you ask the people of Lao Qiao's family. We are in-laws with them. As in-laws, it is very strange for us to come to attend the college entrance banquet of our grandchildren. It's normal." The female manager said, "We have indeed received your order here. It was placed by a person named Lu Quan." Father Lu said, "I didn't order it, so you wronged me." Female manager, "Are you unjust? Please check your mobile phone. Otherwise, we will have to call the police." Lu Quan had no choice but to turn on his phone to check. "When I saw that there was indeed an order for Junhua Hotel, I was stunned. How is it possible? I didn't order it, I didn't order it. Did he accidentally set it when he was drunk last time? It seems that he took out his mobile phone that day and wanted to try to place an order, but he couldn't remember whether he successfully placed the order." Mother Lu was shocked and said, "There is really an order." Female manager, "No matter where this order comes from, our hotel only recognizes the orders received and has already provided services for you. The total is 20,000 yuan. Please check out immediately." Lu Quan softened his tone, well, we are really here to attend the in-laws' children's school entrance banquet. They must be here. Go find them and they will give you money. Female manager, no, we can't disturb other customers just because of one customer. Mother Lu was angry, why don't you know how to adapt? Female manager, then please take out the invitation. Lu Quan, no, how can I get an invitation when I come to my in-laws' college entrance banquet? The female manager said expressionlessly, in that case, you can only give me money. Lu's mother started to act rogue, no, 20,000 yuan. I can't make that much money in a year. You can go to Lao Chiao's family and ask for it yourself. The female manager sighed, I called the police. Mother Lu, you report it, and I will ask the police to call Lao Chiao's family and ask them to release us. Son of the Lu family, Mom, don't do this. We can't afford to lose face like this. Besides, Lao Chiao's family doesn't recognize my eldest sister, how can they listen to us? If we really ask them to call the police, we will not only be detained, but also it's a heavy loss to pay. Lu's daughter-in-law, that's right, Mom, we can't let them call the police. Mother Lu had no choice but to give her money. After leaving the Junhua Hotel, the Lu family was extremely unwilling. Mother Lu gritted her teeth, I must go to Lao Chiao's family to recover this loss. Father Lu said, that's right, 20,000 yuan, they have to bear it. The Lu family's son and daughter-in-law heard this and did not speak. It would be better to get back 20,000 yuan, which can buy many good things that they are reluctant to eat on weekdays. 3 hours later, Suo Jingui received a call from the person in charge of the hospital, Chairman Suo, the two samples we tested are indeed related by blood, supporting a biological father-daughter relationship. We have sent the report to your email. Suo Jingui immediately smiled, okay, I understand. Suo Jingui opened the mailbox and looked at it, and then handed the phone to Suo Hongfeng to look at. Suo Hongfeng also smiled when he saw the result. Great, really great. At this time, the Lao Chiao family and Chu Yanyi were in the private room. If the other guests had something to do, they had already left. If they had nothing to do, they would stay in the hotel and have dinner while having fun. Chiao Ningxun took the initiative to speak, is the result the same as what Chu Yanyi said? Suo Jingui nodded, yes, I am really your biological father. Chiao Ningxun didn't react much. Chu Yanyi couldn't lie to everyone. Chiao Shulan asked worriedly, you just said you wouldn't take my daughter away. Are you true? Suo Jingui, really, I completely respect your family's opinion. But I only have one child. My son and I both hope to have a daughter and sister at home. Therefore, if Ningxun wants to return to the Suo family, we will also a warm welcome. Chiao Shulan also knows that her daughter has not received much love from her father since she was a child. Suo Jingui and Suo Hongfeng were so kind to Suo Xingxin, a person who was not related by blood. They would definitely treat their daughter who was related by blood better. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 379. Although she doesn't want her daughter to leave her, if her daughter wants to go back, she won't stop her. Chiao Shulan looked at her daughter, Ningxun, what do you think? Chiao Ningxun glanced at Suo Jingui and then at Suo Hongfeng. One of the purposes of her efforts to make money after her rebirth was to create wealth that could rival Suo Xingxin's and trample Suo Xingxin under her feet, never to be able to recover. Now she was suddenly told that she actually didn't need to work so hard to make money, and there was no need to regard the Suo family as a rival. For a while, it was a little hard to accept. Suo Hongfeng hoped, Ningxun, no, sister, if you can, you can come back. Suo will be your backing in the future, and you won't have to work so hard to make money in the future. Suo Xingxin has enjoyed everything that should be yours, we will compensate you double in the future. Lu Jingyi complained in his heart, will he pamper Suo Xingxin again? Chu Yanyi suddenly glared at Lu Jingyi. Lu Jingyi trembled and looked away. Seeing Qiao Ningxun struggle, Suo Jingguo sighed and said, okay, I won't force you anymore. Today's news must be very sudden for you. It's normal that you can't accept it for a while. Let's do this. We can do more in the future. For example, your family can often come to my house for dinner. When we get along with each other, we will recognize you if you want to. If you don't want to, we can always move around as relatives. Suo Xingxin wanted her life just now. As Suo Xingxin's adoptive father and adoptive brother, they could also be considered her enemies. She would probably not be able to accept it if she suddenly recognized them as relatives. Suo Hongfeng said, okay, that's all. Ningxun, we won't force you anymore. Qiao Ningxun breathed a sigh of relief, Mr. Suo, Brother Suo, give me some time. The two nodded. Others from Lao Qiao's family went to entertain the guests, and Qiao Ningxun and Chu Yanyi came to the rooftop garden of the hotel. Seeing that there is such a beautiful scenery on the top of the building, Qiao Ningxun felt more relaxed. Chu Yanyi looked at Qiao Ningxun's face and asked, are you angry with me? Your identity was exposed today. Qiao Ningxun shook his head, no, you told me in advance. Chu Yanyi immediately smiled and handed a box to her, here you are, your gift. Qiao Ningxun frowned and took it, quickly opened it, and saw that inside was a sword made of unknown materials. The blade of the sword looks like the color of bronze, but it doesn't look like bronze because it actually shines faintly. What material is this made of? I can tell that the necklace is made of jade beads, but I really can't tell the material of this sword. Chu Yanyi, it is a very special material. I made it with my own hands. It is the only one in the world. It will be very good for you to carry it with you. If there is no accident, her memory can be restored quickly. Qiao Ningxun nodded, okay, then you can help me bring it. Good. After a while, Qiao Ningxun touched the green sword around his neck, suddenly thought of something, and asked, has your friend's matter been resolved? Chu Yanyi nodded, it's half solved. Now we have to see if she can forgive him. Qiao Ningxun, you spent so long helping him. The person you are friends with must know his sincerity and will most likely forgive him. Chu Yanyi smiled and said, well, I'd like to lend you some good advice. After dinner, Lao Qiao's family sent all the guests away and did not go back to Deguo village. They all rested in Tianling community. After everyone finished washing, Qiao Kongsheng called everyone to the living room. Qiao Kongsheng looked at his granddaughter, Ningxun, tell us the truth. Do you want to recognize the father of the chairman, tell the truth? Qiao Ningxun, who has never received father's love in 2 lifetimes, of course wants to have a reliable father. That father is different from Yuan Des Han. He looks like a loving father and will definitely give her full of fatherly love, as good as he treats Suo Xingxin. No, it might even be better to compensate her. She has always wanted to have a biological brother, but she didn't expect that Suo Hongfeng, a top-notch person, would be her biological brother. Suo Hongfeng's The Legend of Nanjing has been aired. Because of this TV series, he has become a top star. No matter where he goes now, except at night, he will wear a wig and sunglasses to hide his appearance. Otherwise, wherever he goes, he will definitely cause an uproar. Although she is not afraid of being bullied by anyone now, she can deal with those people with just one magic spell. But she is still young after all, and she still really wants to have 1 or 2 people to rely on. When someone bullies her or slanders her, you can stand up for her and support her. Although immortal magic is powerful, it is not omnipotent. Chiao Ningsun thought about it for a while and said seriously, "It must be a lie if you say you don't want to recognize him, but give me some more time. I have to be prepared to suddenly recognize someone I have only met a few times as my father." Chiao Kongshen nodded, "You are right. Well, we won't force you, you can follow your heart." Chiao Ningsun, "Okay." Shortly after Chiao Ningsun returned to her room, there was a knock on the bedroom door. Opened it and saw that it was He Yuen Yang and He Yuen Hui. Chiao Ningsun asked them to come in and sit down. He Yuen Yang said, "Cousin, we too support you to recognize your relative." He Yuen Hui nodded, "Yes, I support it." He Yuen Yang sighed and said, "I know you are a little worried that others will say that you only recognized it because of the money. But we know that with your ability, it will be a matter of time before you earn a fortune comparable to that of the Sox Group. You don't have to care about what the outside world thinks. Whether or not your father is around has a great impact on a person. You can have the love of your biological father in the future. We are really happy for you." When Huaxia University started last year, he saw that many of his classmates were sent there by their parents. He was really envious that they still had parents who loved and protected them after they turned 18. Their father is like that. If my cousin has a father who loves her, she will definitely be much happier in the future. Since childhood, he and his younger brother have been looked down upon by many people, saying that they are children without a father and a mother. He didn't want his cousin to be said like that in the future. He Yuen Hui said, "Brother is right. From now on, you will have a father to rely on. Your father is not a criminal, and you will no longer be looked down upon by others. You can completely cut off the relationship with Yuan Deshan." Having said this, He Yuen Hui smiled evilly, "Cousin, if you return to the Suo family and Suo Xingxin finds out, he will definitely be angry to death. Your adoptive father Yuan Deshan will definitely be furious if he finds out about it. Wouldn't that be a pleasure?" Chiao Ningsun smiled and said, "Well, I know, I will think about it carefully. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible." Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 380. It's true, you can still make Suo Xingxin and Yuan Deshan angry to death. The two of them were men after all, and it was not easy for them to stay in a girl's room for too long. After saying a few words, they left Chiao Ningsun's room. Chiao Ningsun turned on the computer, hesitated for a moment, and decided not to live broadcast, and ran to Gushigo to practice. She had just meditated for 5 minutes when she suddenly felt the sword around her neck was a little warm. When she took it out and took a look, she saw that the sword was actually shining. She tried to practice, but she didn't expect that her spiritual power was growing rapidly, which was even more effective than the jade bracelet she was wearing. She did not waste time and practiced quickly. Suddenly, she felt that her soul was in the sky above an ancient building. Opposite her, a man and a woman in ancient costumes were talking to each other. She didn't know why, but she couldn't see their faces clearly or hear what they were saying. The man seems to keep explaining, but the woman doesn't listen at all. After waiting for a few minutes, the woman lost patience and turned around and flew away. The man became anxious and chased after him. The woman suddenly turned around and started fighting with the man. But the two people are equally capable and neither can win quickly. Chiao Ningsun frowned, she liked this woman's temper. At this moment, the woman seemed to have exerted too much force and touched an old injury, causing her to vomit a mouthful of blood. The man saw it and wanted to take his sword back. It's just that the sword in his hand seemed to be out of control, stabbing straight towards the woman. "Danger!" Chiao Ningsun roared and suddenly disappeared. Chiao Ningsun opened her eyes suddenly and glanced around. She returned to Gushigo again. Did she have an out-of-body experience just now? Who are the man and the woman? That sword, did it hurt that woman? When she was in the sky, she saw an ancient city below her feet. Did her soul just travel through time? Could it be that in this life, she has found her enemy from her previous life, her family has become rich, and she has found her biological father, and her mission has been completed? Does this mean that she has to travel through time again? The place you will travel to next time will be in ancient times. How can this be done? What is the difference between this and suddenly returning to the novice village when the game is maxed out? Xiao Ningxun's heart was beating violently, and she tried to count herself with her fingers. She can actually calculate part of her future? A few minutes later, Xiao Ningxun felt relieved. She just calculated what happened when she was 25 years old, which meant that she would not travel again for the time being, so she was relieved. She hopes that she is overthinking the time travel again. If Chu Yanyi knew what she was thinking, he would definitely say, "You are indeed overthinking." It was still early, so Xiao Ningxun continued to practice. 2 hours later, Xiao Ningxun looked at the spiritual energy surrounding his palms and smiled with satisfaction. She had practiced for 4 hours just now, but the spiritual power she gained during these 4 hours was actually 10 times more than what she had gained while wearing the jade bracelet. Had she not been worried about going crazy, she would have wanted to continue practicing. It's just that Chu Yanyi is just an ordinary person, isn't he? He also said that he did this himself. Could it be said that he is also a cultivator of immortality? To her, Chu Yanyi was a walking reservoir of spiritual energy. Before, she had always thought that he was just an ordinary person, and perhaps the jewelry he wore could help him gather spiritual energy. Now it seems that she may have underestimated Chu Yanyi. She took out her phone, checked the specific time, and put it back in her bag. It was very late now, and it was hard for her to disturb him. And how is she going to speak? Ask him directly, "Do you know that she is a cultivator of immortality?" Perhaps I'm asking, are you also a person who cultivates immortality? It's wrong to ask no matter what, so just don't ask. When it's time to speak, he will confess to her. Since it was only after 4 o'clock, Xiao Ningxun planned to go back to Tianling community to rest. It was only when she suddenly glanced at the direction of Lao Jiao's house that she remembered that she had forgotten something important today. After turning invisible, she quickly flew towards Lao Jiao's house. As soon as I arrived nearby, I saw more than 10 or 20 people standing in the courtyard of the village chief's house. It's already 4 o'clock, and it's still noisy. The incident even went to the village chief's house. At this time, the 3 Jiao brothers and their wives were standing in the yard of the village chief's house. Jiao Jianmo said, "Second child, third child, it's almost dawn. Let me say it one last time. I don't want to treat you to today's meal. Why did you eat it? We all know it. It's 40,000 yuan in total, 3 people, a total of 13,333 yuan and 3 cents, you two must transfer every penny to me." "Impossible," Jiao Jianzhou said, "no matter how you look for someone, you can't find us. We went there today to attend the college entrance banquet. You should go to Jiao Shulan to ask for money. Today is her daughter's college entrance banquet." Jiao Jianyu said, "Yes, brother, our work has not been going well in the past 2 years. You also know that the income we make every month is not enough for the whole family. We have been eating at our laurels and eating a meal of more than 10,000 yuan. We are really afraid of retribution, so you should go find Jiao Shulan." "Jiao Shulan's family hasn't come back yet," Lu Hehua said with her hands on her hips. "If we could have found them, we would have gone to find them a long time ago. They don't even have dogs at home. They probably went on a trip to celebrate. We can't find anyone. I can only come to you. Jiao Jianzhou, if you don't give it, we will never give it." "Jiao Jianyu, I won't give it to you either." Jiao Jianmo gritted his teeth, "If you don't care about brotherhood, then I can't care so much about it. I want to call the police." The village chief frowned. If the police were called, wouldn't it be exposed that Jiao Ningxun didn't invite his uncles to dinner? Although Lao Jiao's family might not care and would just explain it when the time comes, he still doesn't want to cause trouble to them. Since the trouble has come to him, let him solve it. The village chief said, "It's getting late. Since you came to me, I will mediate this matter." The three couples looked at the village chief at the same time. "Village chief, let me tell you, what happened today is originally your fault. The people from Lao Jiao's family didn't invite you at all, so you went up on your own. In addition, Jiao Jianmo placed an order on his mobile phone again, which caused a misunderstanding in the hotel, so he bears the greatest responsibility." Ya Yunting's eyes lit up. The village chief is right. The most fundamental reason is that my eldest brother placed an order on his mobile phone. If he hadn't placed the order, the hotel staff would definitely not have received us. If we couldn't get into the college entrance banquet, we would have directly. If I leave, I won't leave behind such expensive food. Lu Yuero nodded. Second sister-in-law is right. Jiao Jianmo and Lu Hehua felt as if they had eaten shit. I want to refute, but I can't say a word. The village chief added, "Jiao Jianzhou and Jiao Jianyuo, you two families are also responsible. If others haven't invited you, you shouldn't go.